President Obama arrived in Europe this morning for the G-20 summit. So far, he has gained very little international support for a military strike in Syria. And the timing of the trip pulls him away from Washington just ahead of critical votes in Congress to authorize a possible attack. The uncertainty surrounding Syria hangs over President Obama's three-day overseas trip. It starts off today with a stop in Sweden, then on to the G20 summit in Russia, where tensions are high. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned the West about taking military action against Syria. In an interview overnight, Putin was asked if he would agree to military force in Syria if the government was found to have used chemical weapons on its citizens.
I do not exclude this, but I would like to draw your attention to one absolutely key aspect. In line with international law, only the UN Security Council could sanction the use of force against a sovereign state. Any other pretext or method which might be used to justify the use of force against an independent sovereign state is inadmissible and can only be interpreted as an aggression.
But the U.S. continues to move forward with its plans to punish the Assad regime. The Senate is drafting a resolution that would authorize a limited military strike. Aides say it would set a 60-day deadline for the president to act and would forbid the use of ground troops.
We all agree there will be no American boots on the ground.
I believe that my colleagues should support this call for action.
But while leaders in Congress are getting on board, the American people are still skeptical.
We should not go to war with Syria. We should just mind our own business.
According to a new ABC Washington Post poll, 59% of Americans oppose a missile strike in Syria. 36% support one. However, 46% of Americans favor a strike if American allies get on board. 51% would still oppose. Votes in the House and Senate are expected early next week. Meanwhile, Syria is said to be hiding weapons in advance of the potential U.S. strike. The regime is also moving its troops out of bases and into civilian areas. And by the way, countries neighboring Syria continue to prepare for the possibility of an attack as well. President Bashar Assad of Syria has said if he's attacked, it will spark a regional war.